You're going to be carried to the most appropriate time and place to once again meet with the Mantis people. And when you see yourself on the ground, I want you to simply look around and tell me what you see.
I'm with animals like horses out in an open plain. There's grass. There's a couple of horses next to me. I think they're horses.
Do they look different from regular horses? Is there any difference?
I think they're horses. Just eating grass.
And I'd like you to look down at where your feet should be and tell me what you see on your feet.
You see that I'm in fairly thick grass, fairly long grass.
Mm-hmm.
I think I'm a man again. I think I'm wearing boots this time.
Okay. And what do they look like?
They're black and they're scuffed. Their toes are round and they feel fairly substantial. They're strong.
How far do they go up your leg?
I feel like they're around my shins.
And so allow your glance to go all around your body and tell me, what do you notice in terms of clothing?
I feel like the pants I'm wearing are just grey and they're cotton, I think. I think it's just a flannel shirt. It's red, I think.
And do you wear anything else other than the pants and the shirt?
I know I've got a Spencer under my shirt, a singlet, vest. I don't know what Americans call it. Yeah, I think I'm wearing a hat too.
Okay. And so what is your role there? Why are you there with the horses?
I think I don't know. I've been walking, but I don't know why I have two horses. I don't know. I feel like I'm just enjoying being out there.
Now, are you young or old?
I'm middle-aged.
Are you healthy?
I feel like there's something in the chest a bit, and I know I've got grey whiskers. I know I'm very whiskery. Haven't had a shave.
Is there anybody else around you, or are you alone?
I'm alone, and I think I want to be alone. I'm there with the horses. But I get the feeling I'm not too far from home.
On the count of 3, I'd like you to see yourself standing in front of the place where you live. 1, 2, and 3. See yourself in front of the place where you live. What do you see?
It's simple. It's not grand. It's wooden. I know there's a wife.
Okay.
I know she wears long gowns, so I know this is another time.
Mm-hmm. So go ahead inside the house and tell me what you see there.
It's only a small house, but I feel like there's, I'm not sure what that is, like some kind of chute. Maybe it's an attic entrance. It's not very big house, but I feel like I can go up into the ceiling anyway.
Okay. And why is that important?
No, that was the first thing that I saw. I feel like it's a loft. I feel like we sleep up there. Perhaps we sleep up there.
Well, you can go up there and see what's there.
It's where we sleep.
And how many rooms are in the house?
I feel like there's 2 rooms downstairs.
What do you see in them?
There's a small dining set, and I feel like there's something like a tablecloth or something that's been handcrafted. And it's a small kitchen. And there's benches.
And how do you cook food? Where?
There is a fireplace.
And where do you get the food? What do you eat?
We do go into town, but it seems like it's a bit of a travel, a bit of a distance.
Mm-hmm. So I'm going to just count to 3, and you're going to see yourself having a meal. 1, 2, and 3. Tell me what you see.
I don't know. I'm eating just out of a small bowl. I'm holding it in my hand. I don't know. I feel like maybe things are overlapping here.
It's all right. Why'd you say that?
Because I feel like I've got a bowl and now this time it feels like chopsticks, but that doesn't feel appropriate for the body I've been in.
Mm-hmm.
I could see like it didn't feel like a Asian man.
Okay. So let's filter out one experience at a time so that you can have clarity in one experience. And if there is need for us to connect it with any other time, it will come later when we're ready for it. And so as you're sitting there eating from a bowl, can you tell me what you're eating?
Once, when you talked about clarity, it wants to take me to another.
Okay.
And
And
yeah.
let's go there. What are you seeing?
It's night. I'm eating rice out of a bowl.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm dressed like your traditional monk.
Okay.
And it's dark and there's a fire. I'm just sitting. There's a few others around it with me.
So this is your meal time?
Yeah, and I feel like we actually get on very well. There's a lot of camaraderie. I feel like we laugh very easily at simple things.
And I wonder if you can become aware of how old you are.
I feel I'm about 40. I could be young. I look young. I look young. I feel light in this body. I feel my skin is good, you know. I feel very smooth in this body, very light.
And are you healthy?
Yeah, I'm healthy.
Mm-hmm. And you are a male, is that correct?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like I need to say it doesn't really matter what I am in this life.
Okay. And where is, I'm assuming, is this a monastery?
I feel like I almost want to say a cave, but yes, it is a monastery. And there's right now it's showing me I'm holding a bowl of something, a bowl, maybe just water. I don't know why I'm holding the bowl. I'm just holding this larger bowl now. maybe it's ceremonial, maybe it's some kind of offering. But there's something very satisfying about holding this bowl, about the shape of it. It's almost metallic, the bowl.
Mm-hmm.
It feels like it might not be, maybe it's stoneware, but it feels, the edge feels very sharp. It's very fine. It's kind of bigger, not a tiny little bowl now, not something that would fit in my palm.
And see yourself with this bowl and just continue to see and what happens with it. What do you do with it?
I put it at somebody's feet, or I put it at it's a statue. I think it's a statue. I think it's a Buddha statue, but there's something about knowing that if I look in that bowl, I'll be able to see. I'll be able to do prophecy. I'll be able to see things that have happened. I feel like I know that as I put it at the feet of the statue. Just looking into the clear water, the bowl is dark.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like I didn't deliberately set out to be able to do this, but it just happened.
So go ahead and proceed with however you conduct this ritual.
It's not the ritual so much. It's wanting to tell you that's where I see the mantis being, in the bowl.
Mm-hmm. Beautiful. So yes, go ahead and look into the water and tell me what comes to you.
And this time I'm not frightened. I'm fascinated.
Is this the first time you're seeing them in this life?
No. No, because when I look in the bowl, or perhaps I was already a monk as a child, but I know I've seen them as a child.
And do you remember your experience as a child with them?
I know I'm in nature again. I feel like I need to say there are plants. I'm around the plants. And I don't see them like in the other time. I feel them. I know they're there. I just feel that they're there.
And when you feel them, what kind of feeling is it? Is it a positive, good feeling?
I thought it was them, but it wasn't. But I'm with an adult. He holds my hands. I'm small. I am a boy. And the adult, it's because of the adult I'm not scared of them. The adult's a monk, so I've been there a long time. The adult knows who they are. And he knows that we don't need to be scared of them. So he feels them too. And I know that he feels them. And later we talk about it. He just accepts them like just another people in the environment. But they're different now. They don't come like they came before. They don't just show up like they showed up in the past. It's like they can't be as physical in this life. But I do feel them, and I know they can be there. But it's like, I don't know if they don't want to or they can't materialize as much.
Mm-hmm.
I think, in a sense, I've entered their domain.
Mm-hmm.
So in a sense, I feel like I have been physical with them. It's like I've been physical in their domain instead of them being physical in my domain.
And what about the adult monk that is with you? Is he able to go into their domain?
I think we all do. I think we know about them. They know about us. I don't know why, but when you ask that, his hands are folding around something. Like he's holding, what is it, a scroll or something, an implement. When you asked that question, I saw his hands slowly close around something.
Ask him if he can show you what it is, if it is important for you to know.
It's a scroll. So there's something written about them.
And is that something that he can reveal to you?
No, he's saying it's a prayer scroll, but something about when we say this prayer, they come with it, they come into our meditations.
Are you able to look at the scroll and know what it says, what the prayer is?
It's a prayer for peace and inner stillness and control of desires and passions. And it's seeking union, but not power, if you know what I mean.
Yes.
Not worldly power. It is seeking the divinity. There's something about the purity of water. There's something about the energy underneath the form. There's something about art being the energy, the energy underneath the form. Art captures the energy underneath the form.
As in creativity?
Yeah, in particular, it's talking about painting, about how it captures the energy underneath the dance. It's talking about dance. It moves the energy underneath the form.
Right.
It talks about movement, but also observation. That if you look into a thing, you can see the energy in the thing. The artist sees the energy in the thing. The dancer moves the energy through their system. Talks about things that are found and things that are lost, things that are found and things that are lost, reiterations, how things come and go, how things are rediscovered. And they helped us understand this somehow. And they are part of the energy underneath the form as well, you know. It's hard to explain.
So help me understand the prayer part. How does it work? Are there particular words you have to say, or you just kind of think about these things?
It's like an invitation or an invocation of a wisdom to know the energy under the form, to move with the energy under the form. And it's to do with why I can see things in the water. It's meant to be preserved. We're not, these things get lost. So we write things down on the scroll because it's meant to be preserved.
Is it the humans that wrote things down on the scroll or the Mantis people?
But they helped. But I almost want to say there are no humans, there are no them, or one thing anyway. It's just the expression of that saying. It's just expressing itself. It's just moving through.
Mm-hmm.
They're saying something about why we fear them. And it's not just their difference. It is a little bit about our projections, but it's more too.
Can you elaborate on the projection?
I'm trying to understand
Mm-hmm.
understand what they're saying.
We're going to ask them to make it clearer in your mind.
They're talking about they evolved too. It's hard to explain because their time is different, but I'm trying to understand. There's still a capacity for darkness in them. And we can still sense, because we still have our capacity for darkness, we still recognize that capacity. So, and they're also referencing my fear from when I saw the manipulation of the children. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
They're talking to me then about that other time. And they're saying, even then you were afraid because all beings sense not just the current expression, but also the past expression.
Mm-hmm.
You understand?
Yes.
And so it's a projection of our own darkness. But even people and our past darkness, even people without a lot of darkness will still feel fear.
Mm-hmm.
Even if they don't have much darkness in their current iteration.
Right. They can sense it from other experiences that they had before.
And also theirs.
And also theirs. Uh-huh.
And we're calling it karma in that life, because at that time our understanding is incomplete.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like there's something about doing art and dance that's important somehow, and writing, and beautiful writing, poetry, movement, that helps the energies. Dream work. Some among us think that they're kind of an illusion, that they're not real.
Mm-hmm.
And others think, no, they're very real. They're very real.
You're talking about the Mantis people?
Yeah, and because we're all experiencing them in one way or another, and we're feeling them, and we're seeing them, and we're dreaming them, and we're hearing them. And some of us think they're real, and some of us, I don't know what, that we think they're an illusion. Not to take them too seriously, but some of us know there's more to them than that. We know, we just know. We feel like it's the older ones and they're being very orthodox, and we're resisting that orthodoxy. We feel the older ones are afraid to admit reality. The older monks kind of say we don't need to take it very seriously. They're not very real. We're the younger ones. We believe they're more than illusion.
Are you still a child at that point?
No, I'm 40 now. I moved back to the scroll. So the scroll is important. It stays with me. I think about it a lot.
Mm-hmm. And where is that scroll kept?
It's there. There's many scrolls. It's just kept aside. Where is that? What is that? See, I'm getting that sort of overlay now, but it feels like it's on an altar, like not an altar, just a dedicated a stone, and it's masonry. It's dedicated. It's just where the scrolls are kept. They're inside, and it's just a quiet, sacred place. They could be, someone could walk away with them, but nobody walks away with them. They're piled up. I guess we call it a library, but it's not big enough for a library, but there's a lot in those scrolls.
And do you know what language that scroll is written in?
I want to say Tibetan.
Okay. And is that where you are in Tibet?
Yeah, apparently. Yeah, I guess, yeah. I guess, but they're not that identified with nationality.
Mm-hmm. And that's fine.
Yeah, and I feel like, I mean, it is Tibet. I can tell because I can see the locals, but yeah, it's a smaller life. It's country, and it's not political. It's not in a grand scale. Not a big life. You know what I mean?
Yes.
It's an inner life, a different life. Yeah.
And are you able to identify the year that this is now?
I want to say it's in the 1500s sometime.
Okay.
I want to say 1568, but I also feel like I'm back again in the 1700s.
With the
There.
horses?
Oh, yeah. Is that the 1700s? I'm very different then. I've had my children. I'm back there now. I've had my children late, or I've aged. I'm very weathered, one or the other. I feel like I've had my children late, or they're my grandchildren.
Is that in that log house where you have horses?
This time I've got my children. Are they my children? They're young.
Is your wife still around?
She is. She's not with us. We're in the field. And the little girl is very, very lively. And the little boy is younger and more timid and still sucks his thumb. Where are we going? I know now. I go out into that field.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not scared of them anymore, but I take the children with me.
Are you meeting the Mantis people?
Except they look different now. It's like they present differently. So they're not, I know they're not human. I go out deliberately to meet them. And I don't tell people about it. But I take the children and I don't. Why do I take the children?
Just allow yourself to move a little bit further in time to when it becomes clearer to you why you brought the children.
I didn't bring the children. They approached me when I had the children. What do they look like now? This one feels like a woman.
Can you describe her?
There's still that white, that tall white thing. And I think they look the same. She wants me to see her hands this time because last time I couldn't see the hands. She's showing me the hands now.
Oh, good.
Fingers are really long.
Are their hands folded?
No, she held them out so I could. She held them out like the monk that held the scroll. She did the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
I understand now why she did that. She wanted me to see her hands because I was thinking through the week that I couldn't remember what her hands looked like, their hands looked like.
Mm-hmm.
And I kept getting distracted by the head because I kept seeing the head from the side and I see how it comes out at the back.
And how many fingers do they have?
I don't know if it's me. I feel like they've got 5, but I'm maybe wrong on that. It looks like 5.
And why did they approach you when you had children?
I'm not scared. And their children, they're not reacting. No, they are reacting. Little boy is behind me. They're not moving. She puts her hands around Abby's face, She's looking into her eyes. I don't know what's happening here because she doesn't seem to have the mantis eyes anymore. It's like a screen memory. It's like a woman now. You understand? It's like we know what she was, but Abby will remember it like a woman kneeling down and putting her hands around her face.
Are they able to change their shape or present themselves differently to people?
I feel like it's more a mental thing. They're changing how we see them. And perhaps what I'm feeling is I'm seeing what they are, but the children aren't seeing what they are. The children are seeing a woman.
Is it based on the intention? What is the intention when she puts her arms around Abby, you said?
She puts her hands around her face. She just wants to look, you know what? It's the way we are with children. It's loving. She just wants to look into her face. It's almost like pride. Like pride. She was there. It was the way Abby was moving the energy through her body. Skipping and she's bouncing along and she's joyful and she's singing. Do you understand?
Yes.
She's moving the energy and the woman, I'll call her the woman. She's drawn. She's coming to see me, but she's drawn to that. It's beautiful. And she moves in harmony with that. Do you understand?
Yes.
She's showing me 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 fingers. She shows me 5.
And so is Abby your daughter or your granddaughter?
Which is my granddaughter,
Okay. And what is your grandson's name?
Bill.
And can you tell me if they connect with Bill? He was standing behind you. Was he scared?
I'm watching her. She does. She just this, and that's it.
So she strokes his forehead and his head.
I want to say like a blessing, you know. We don't call it a blessing anymore, but when we do that with a child, because a child is beautiful, we exchange energy. There's a blessing. You understand?
Yes.
And then she withdraws. My wife sees it too, you know. She thinks they're ghosts, I think. But she sees them too.
Is she afraid of them?
She thinks, no, because I want to say she's Irish.
Mm-hmm.
And that makes a difference for her.
Okay.
Because she thinks she fits it in. I'm Irish too. We fit it in.
So do you see them as kind of nature beings?
They're balanced beings. I think they're drawn to my wife too because she's very creative.
In what way?
Like she paints. She's artistic.
Mm-hmm.
But she's practical too. She creates things. It's the way she does everything. She just does everything well, you know?
Mm-hmm. It's unusual for a person who lives on a farm to paint.
I feel like it's the finishing touch on things that have been made.
Okay.
Or, you know, it's not just there's needlework, there's things she does. She has to. It's who she is.
Okay.
She does it anyway. Or maybe she did it. Maybe it's an overlay again. There's something of the artist about her. Everything she does.
And so they're drawn to this artistic nature?
No, they're drawn to the movement, to the harmonious movement of energy.
I see. And so are you in touch with them all your life?
Yeah, he is.
You have this relationship that spans multiple lifetimes. Can you tell me why is there this ongoing connection? Why you? Why this connection with you?
I'm watching them just.
What are they showing you?
Very, very vivid images of nature. I'll tell you how the sequence is played out. I'm trying to understand it the way I might when I'm doing my mediumship and a whole lot of images come all at once. First, they showed me their emergence. I don't know if that's symbolic, but it's like an ant coming out of the ground.
Mm-hmm.
Just an array of nature, just flowers and life forms. And then a very, very vivid eye. I know there's the entanglement thing. They've said that before. They're saying that again, but why the first time?
Can you tell me more about the entanglement?
I want to know why they came the very first time. Doesn't answer why the first time. Once you've been together, you come back together.
Is there an entanglement between them and humans?
Energy, you flow along together. Does everything flow into everything eventually? They're saying like the water in the bowl. So obviously not everything flows into everything. The water in the bowl is contained, isn't it? I said, why did you come the first time? They said, you called out to us.
So it seems like we're really connected with them on a very deep level. Is that accurate?
Yeah, I'm just looking at what they're showing me. They do make me feel like we are their children in some sense. I think that's why they were showing me the thing with the children. I think they would like us to be like children again.
Oh, I see. And where does our connection come from, that deep entanglement?
When you asked that, before you asked that, a moment before, they showed me, it was not a rose, but like that construction, you know, where there's a petal around a petal around a petal, you know, do you know what I mean?
Yes.
That's how they showed it to me. How everything enwraps upon itself, like a spiral, I guess. It widens out. So what does that mean? Does more come into it as it grows? Sorry, what was your question?
Why are we so deeply connected? And does the wrapping of the petals on the rose, does it mean like you were shown those overlapping experiences into lifetimes? We also know that time is not a linear concept. It's a spiral that in effect overlaps onto itself. So are they showing you that our connection, our lives, our experiences within the time also overlapping experiences?
They're saying as you recognize it. Do you understand? Said for your recognition.
So, okay, say it again.
You've recognized it as you recognize it. Yes.
So what I was saying is correct? Is
Yes,
accurate?
as you recognize it. So they're saying you already knew this before now, another time. You understand? You've just exemplified the model.
Oh, so well, at this point, we're remembering it.
They're saying you're remembering what you knew in a past life as you recognize it. You say you knew it then, and then the petals wrap around, you know it now. Oh, they're showing me a crop circle. I'm fascinated by crop circles, but this is not one I've ever seen. It's making me think of the center of the sunflower.
And are they telling you the meaning of it?
I think that one's for you.
Oh, it is?
Yeah, I think I had to tell you that. That was it.
And what is the meaning of that for me?
You've got to work it out.
Okay.
They want you to watch it unfold.
Okay. Beautiful. Thank you. So I really enjoyed getting to know them a little bit better, and I hope we can continue. There seems to be a lot more to learn about them and understand. But for today, as we wrap up this beautiful meeting together, are you becoming more aware of the connection you have with them in this lifetime? Are they still as present in your life?
I don't know. I had no conscious recollection of them in this life at all.
Right. But now that you're becoming more aware of them, are you becoming aware of they have been a part of your life at another level?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I think so. Maybe, yes.
Mm-hmm.
I think maybe they're the ones I've thought of as the tall people.
And it's okay. You can begin to become more aware of it consciously as you feel comfortable or as much as is appropriate.
Okay.
So I thank you and them for sharing all this beautiful information with us today, and we'll come back to it later.